Happy Thursday, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health. September 12th, 2013. Talking to you today and every day about all things holistic, We had a little webinar this morning, a live chat session that Dr. Glidden Insiders have access to for a small monthly subscription fee. 4 hours of live interactive webinars a week, plus hundreds of hours of archived information available at the click of a mouse, fireyourmdnow.com. It's right there on the front page. Scroll all the way to the bottom. Check it out. My online health recovery subscription service. It's the best money you can spend on your health care outside, of course, of the longevity nutritional supplements. We had somebody on the live chat today who told me that he had an unusually large toe, and that because he had an unusually large toe, he had developed arthritis in the toe, and of course the MDs wanted to cut the toe and make it shorter, right? And my freaking head exploded. Now, remember, from one particular perspective, if you had rose-colored glasses on, and you forgot that you had the rose-colored glasses on, everything in the world would look rose-colored, and you would have forgotten that you had the glasses on, and you would be misinterpreting everything that you saw, because everything would be colored by the lenses that you'd forgotten you had. Well, it's no different with the training of an MD. The training of an MD makes them think through filters. They think through filters. So according to the MD, right, who wants to make you half man, half woman, half child, half machine, the idea is you have an arthritic toe, in this case, because you have a toe. You have breast cancer because you have a breast. You have appendicitis because you have an appendix. You have colon cancer because you have a colon. You have whatever you have because that's just the way that it is, and your body doesn't have the ability to fix itself. So, of course, the conventional medical approach towards this condition is cut the darn toe off. Make it the same size as the other toes, and then there won't be extra mechanical stress every time you walk. Well, I got news for you. When the body's properly nutrified, it can handle the stress of walking. I don't care how large the toe is. If your toes are breaking down because of the stress of walking, it ain't because one toe is longer than the rest and it's bearing the brunt of the mechanical stress when you walk. It's because it's run out of the nutrients that it needs to fix itself. Period. So the recommendation here, of course, is to give the body the raw materials that it needs in order to fix itself. It's a simple solution, really, but it is a solution that is completely outside of the perspective of the MD. It is completely outside of the wheelhouse of the MD. They do not even know how to conceptualize the thought that the bones and joints can repair themselves and come back. And it's nonsense. And because it's nonsense, we have a runaway medical system that's the leading cause of death and the leading cause of bankruptcy in the United States. And someone who sees that firsthand every day from the back of the ambulance, the guy that keeps you alive while you're being transported to the hospital. The commander is back with us in the house, Mark Denning, RN, after a long hiatus. Welcome back, Commander. It's always a pleasure to have you on board.
It's great to be back, Dr. Glidden. And yeah, you nailed it right on the head. Let's cut it off.
I know, right? Yeah, when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail, and to the surgeon, the answer is surgery. Right?
It's cut. It's cut in their lifestyle, and you know that more than anybody else besides me.
Cut, so, burn, drug, and this is what we call the best type of medical intervention in the United States. Hey, listen, what's the latest from the war zone, man? What's the latest from the front lines? What's going on in the wonderful world of emergency medicine? What is it?
More strokes, my friend. More strokes. And younger people, much younger people. In fact, I had two yesterday. They had to go from a hospital to another hospital because they think they could get better care at another hospital.
How old are we talking?
40s.
In their 40s. People in their 40s getting strokes.
30s and 40s.
Unbelievable. Of course, one of Dr. Wallach's... it's ridiculous because we've got this dialed in. I mean, there was so much evidence to support the fact that essential fatty acid from fish oil, omega-3 from fish oil, omega-3 supplementation, there was so much evidence to support the notion that omega-3 from fish oil virtually eliminates the risk of thrombotic stroke, deep vein thrombosis, pulmonary embolism, and coronary thrombosis, that Dr. Wallach was able to secure a qualified health claim that says such from the Food and Drug Administration. So really, the moral to this story is if these people who you were transporting all around the great state of Illinois because of strokes had simply been supplementing with fish oil every day, they wouldn't have gotten stroke, and it's a very easily preventable thing. But, my people are destroyed by lack of knowledge.
Knowledge. Yes, they are. It's interesting, and I sit there and I look at these people, and they got a drain coming out of their brain, and that's why they needed me to take them from here to there so I could monitor the pressure in their brain the whole way. And just thinking exactly the same thing, my friend. Just what would I do nutritionally for them, turn their life around? And then I did have a talk with one of the patient's husbands, and hopefully we'll talk later and we'll help him dial it in. His daughter wants to become a nurse, so she went with us, and the front seat of the ambulance, of course, and I said, hurry up and get done so I can retire, with your education. But, but it's always a stroke. And like you say, as far as embolisms, I consider myself one of the embolism experts for turning it around because, I had that quoted genetic problem that reared its head up 45 years after I was born, and they said I got blood clots because of that.
How many did you have?
Total? I had 10 in my lungs and 3 in my legs.
10 blood clots in your lungs and 3 in your legs from the dreaded blood clot gene that waited until you were in your mid-40s before it started to manifest itself, right?
That's right. That's right. So I kind of questioned him about that, and he kind of turned his head, and, he really didn't have much to say. And
how much did you weigh at the time?
Between the first time I had 9 clots in my lungs, 2 in my legs, I was 292, and then the second time I was a little over 300 pounds.
And what are you weighing in at today?
About 235.
Gotta love it. And didn't you also have a blood sugar problem? What was going on with that?
Well, yeah, and my body was on fire because I couldn't metabolize my blood sugar. I had type 2 diabetes, according to the medical experts.
Well, what happened to your type 2 diabetes?
What diabetes?
Well, I guess that gene stopped manifesting itself as well. I guess these little mystery genes, right? They sneak out when you least expect it, and then they run back into the bushes.
Yes, the mystery genes. That's right.
Yeah.
It's like a little stranger danger genes that just come out and say, whoa, I'm in your neighborhood.
Then you take the correct nutritional supplements and the little gene disappears, right? It's nonsense what we've been given. Now, how much rat poison were you on, by the way, when you had all these clots in your body?
Oh, that was amazing. Most people take 2 or 3 milligrams of warfarin up to 5. I was on 12 a day.
Whew.
So,
wow.
I was a human. I was like this. The Pied Piper and I couldn't have really hung out because he just walked them out. If they would have bit me, they would have all died. But that's all right.
Yeah, that's crazy. 12 milligrams of Coumadin? I mean, holy smokes. That's just a remarkable. How long were you on that high a dose? Was it a week, a month, 2 months? Do you remember?
Oh, it was months. It was months. They couldn't dial in that blood test. You have to have that INR or that PT. They couldn't dial it in. Some days it was really high, and my boss would say, I can't have you on the ambulance because if you get in an accident, you're going to bleed to death, So that right there, those kind of things, and then getting to know you and Dr. Wallach just said, there's got to be another answer for this because they can't dial it in. Because it started out at like 7 or 8 milligrams a day. It just kept going up, even though I was getting healthier and healthier and healthier and healthier. They didn't think they could thin it out and prevent it, but actually I was doing myself good things. I'm turning down the inflammation in my system by getting rid of the white flour, the red meat, and things like that at that time, taking a good supplement and that, and then getting to know Dr. Wallach's products, and that just made it so much easier. So And then you and I sat down and talked, and we got the confidence to say, hey, you could probably, stop that in a couple of months after taking these supplements. So I got some good advice. I know what I know. It's not that 40 to 60% of what people don't know, what they don't know, is what I know. It's what you've taught me. It's what Dr. Wallach taught me. And, I'm grateful for all of that because, I could pedal maybe 3 miles on my bike at first, and I can ride a century ride, which is 100 miles. And not have any issues. So, I'm a month.
And it's remarkable, right? Because all of this recovery was done in real time with science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. And just imagine, right, what would have happened to you had you not been open-minded enough and inquisitive enough to want to do something other than conventional medicine. You'd probably be dead by now, number one. And number two, think of how many millions of people. Then I'm not making numbers up. Think how many millions of people there are all around North America, the United States, and Canada. Quite frankly, how many tens of millions of people all around the world who are in a similar boat right now that you were in years ago, who desperately need this information, who desperately need the help. I mean, the mind boggles at the amount of human suffering that's going on here for nothing other than lack of knowledge.
That's right. If people don't get the idea that, that $20 investment every month to listen to your webinars and chat is expensive, go to the drugstore and fill a prescription.
Yeah, we had another person on the we had another person on the live chat this morning, right? I think it was their uncle or somebody in their family had just had stents, 3 or 4 stents put in their coronary arteries. And after surgery, the nurse came by like the day later and said, oh, yeah, by the way, you're going to need $250 worth of this prescription medication every month for the rest of your life. Unbelievable. It's the only profession that can get away with nonsense like that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is September 12th, 2013. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. We've got the wellness warrior himself, Mark Denning, RN, a.k.a. the Commander, on the line. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, September 12th, 2013. Talking to the wellness warrior himself, Mark Denning, a.k.a. the Commander. Check out his Facebook page, Wellness Warriors with a Z. How many members do you have now, Commander?
About 970. 970.
That's a good number.
Who's going to be the 1,000th warrior, Dr. Glidden?
I don't know.
Who's going to be the 1,000 warrior?
We're creeping right up.
We are. You know what that means, though? That means we're getting the message out there. We're getting the message out there. We're giving the people the knowledge they need, the help they need to gain control of their own health.
Boy, you got to love it, and really that's what gets me up in the morning. And this is, I think, an interesting distinction to make between longevity and every other network business in the world, because longevity was set up by Dr. Wallach as a network business on purpose in order to spread the message of health recovery through science-based nutrition and through a grassroots coalition. Other network marketing companies, what are you doing? You're selling groceries, right? You're selling toilet paper. You're selling chocolate or whatever. Well, with longevity,
can't go there.
You're turning people on to life-changing, science-based, clinically verified, boilerplate, holistic health recovery stuff. I mean, this is a really excellent company to align yourself with, because it's not really, there are hundreds of people in longevity who've made millions of dollars over the last 17 years, but the vast majority of people join longevity for the mission before commission. Everybody's, I'm happy. I'm happy with the commission check, don't get me wrong. But, people are involved with longevity because they want to make a difference in their world, because the MDs have completely let us down. And this is a perfect vehicle for disseminating Dr. Wallach's information of health recovery through science-based nutrition. I can't imagine what it's like for you in the back of the ambulance every day, seeing what you see, knowing what you know, and, having your hands tied because of your contractual arrangement with the ambulance company. You just can't tell everybody about this, can you?
No, I And so I do tell some of my partners are very happy that I do. You know, I'm trying to change the EMS world as well because, you know, we've had a lot of, I've been on ambulances since I was 17, which was about, 35 years ago now, right? And sure, guys would get hurt or gals would get hurt and we would pull a muscle or something like that, but we're not seeing anything that minor anymore with people that are in EMS. They are just killing their backs, Dr. Glidden. You know, they're herniating discs, they're bulging discs, they're bursting discs, and their lumbar spines. And you know, we're supposedly the best lifters out there, right? Because we lift smarter, not harder.
Right.
But you know, different situations they present themselves, and it's ridiculous. Like I got a guy right now, and I couldn't convince him not to have a procedure. It's, so I don't need that disc. And, you know, I had him talk to people that had like issues and had done some longevity products with great success. And he said, I can't wait that long. I said, how do you know it's going to take that long for you? See, that's another thing. How do you know it's going to take that long? You might be on that precipice and you're thin enough. His diet is clean, so his absorbency and it would be fantastic. I mean, it would be like, hello, thank you for those nutrients, you know.
Yeah.
Because the other thing about Dr. Wallach is when he devised these formulations, he made it so simple, and that's the greatest part of it. You don't have to have 100 bottles. He made it so simple. Do this, take this, get better, and, you know, the battle plan for the warriors, you know that one. Eliminate the 10 bad foods, 90 for life, and spread the word. I mean, those are the only 3 things that you have to do. It's only 3 things you have to do. And you can be successful helping other people emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially. You can just nail it down, and it's so easy to do.
I know, it is. It's the easiest thing in the world. You don't even have to know how to spell vitamin to have a successful longevity business. All you have to be able to do is point. That's it.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Totally all over that.
Ladies and gentlemen, visit the website, fireyourmdnow.com, fireyourmdnow.com. Click on the longevity button, join Team Glidden, and we will hold your hand and teach you the ropes and show you how to do it. In the meantime, go to Facebook, check it out, Wellness Warriors with a Z. He's right there, the commander. Commander, it's always a pleasure having you. I've got a full phone board. I got to call it quits for today. Keep up the good work, brother. I'm glad that it's you in the back of the ambulance.
Don't quit.
And not somebody else. Stick around, folks. We're back with more after these messages. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden, your steadfast advocate for health on this, the 12th day of September. Welcoming you back. The phones are jammed. We're going to go to Christy from Texas, who has a question about her thyroid gland. Hey, Christy, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. I've got hypothyroidism and a goiter. I've been on the longevity protocol for going on 2 months for the full protocol, including the Ocean's Gold and several bottles of selenium. And it just doesn't seem to be working as quickly as I would like it to. I was wondering your thoughts on Armour Thyroid.
Well, you must, you have the goiter, right? So, I mean, that's a telltale sign that it's a hypothyroid, but this has been confirmed with blood work, right?
Yes.
Okay, and before you did longevity, what did you do?
I've been on longevity for about 2 years.
Yeah, but before longevity, did you do anything for this condition?
No. I just have noticed this in the last 6 to 8 months.
Okay, so you've been on longevity for 2 years, and then all of a sudden this goiter thing happened in the last 6 to 8 months, right?
Correct.
That's very unusual that would happen. Yeah, you're going to have to, can you turn the volume down on the computer because I can hear myself talking?
Oh, I don't have the computer on.
Oh, okay. All right, so you listening to me on the radio?
No, just on my phone.
Oh, on the phone. Okay. All right, so that's very interesting to me. How much do you weigh and how tall are you?
I'm 5'10". I weigh 152 pounds.
Okay. And what's your blood type?
I don't know. I think I'm O positive.
Okay. And how are you? Have you stopped eating wheat, barley, rye, and oats and the other 6 of the 10 bad foods?
Yes, we've been off gluten for approximately 2 years.
Okay. And how about the oil in a bottle and the rest of the 10 bad foods?
Correct. Yes, we've been off all of that. No oil except coconut oil. Don't cook with oil. Use butter.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right. Very good. So, notwithstanding the thyroid issue, how do you feel?
I feel great. I feel great, except I feel choked up because of this goiter on my neck.
Yeah. So,
did you?
What? Yeah, I know. Did you? What benefits, if any, did you experience as a result of switching your diet and taking the longevity stuff? Do you remember?
I really don't. I remember telling my husband felt a dramatic change, and I really didn't. Of course, it didn't stop me from taking it because I knew it was doing good things, but I didn't really feel a dramatic difference.
Okay. And do you have any, besides the thyroid problem, do you have any strong and persistent symptoms on a day-to-day basis like insomnia or bad menstrual cramps or migraine headaches or anything at all that bothers you?
No.
So your mood, your energy, your sleep, and everything is pretty good, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this is very interesting to me. So I'll tell you what you should be doing at 152 pounds, and you can tell me whether you're doing this or not, right? You should be doing 1 scoop of the Beyond Tangy 3 times a day.
Okay.
You should be doing three scoops of the Beyond Tangy a day.
Okay.
How much are you doing?
I'm doing 1.5 twice a day, so yeah, 3 scoops.
You're doing, all right, 3 scoops. You should be doing 1.5 or 2 ounces of the white liquid calcium a day.
Okay, yes, I'm doing that.
All right.
I'm taking the Beyond Osteophyte.
All right, at 150 pounds, you should be doing 9 selenium a day, which is 3 bottles a month.
Okay, I'm taking 12.
Okay, taking 12 selenium a day. And
yes.
How much of the ocean's gold are you taking?
I'm taking 6 a day, so I take 2-3 times a day.
Okay, and you're salting your food?
Oh, yeah.
And what type of salt do you use?
Regular table salt, but we do make sure it's got iodine. And I actually went on the Nutriodine as well, and I was taking Nutriodine for a couple of weeks, and I felt like my goiter was getting worse. I felt like I was more choked than usual. So I went off of that.
Okay, so you want to, what part of the state do you live in?
I live in East Texas.
All right, so you want to check the local Board of Health, and you want to see statistically what the goiter rates are in your particular town.
Okay.
You want to see, because it doesn't make sense to me that this should be happening to you, because your thyroid only gets enlarged when it doesn't have enough nutrition or it's being stressed by something extracurricular every day. Glands in the body swell up when they don't have enough nutrients in order to perform their day-to-day function. That's the only reason that happens, unless there's an external stressor like some type of crap in the water. So, this might be an Aaron Brockovich thing where there's something in the water table that's competing with the iodine. So you want to look to see how much fluoride is in the water. Do you drink well water, or what kind of water do you get?
No, we just drink bottled Aquafina, the reverse osmosis.
And what about the water for your bathtub and the water in your house? Where does that come from? Regular
city water.
Okay. So you want to look to see if they put fluoride in it. Check to see if they put fluoride in it, because here's the reason. The single most common cause of a swollen thyroid is a lack of iodine. That's the single most common cause. Now, if you're ingesting, iodine is a particular element in the periodic table called a halide. It's in the halide group. If there are other halides that your body is exposed to, it will compete for the iodine, and your thyroid won't be able to take up the iodine because the other halides are there. Fluoride is the single most common one.
Okay.
So I would check to see, number one, how many people in your particular county or your particular town have goiter, and whether or not it's above the national average. Number two, whether or not there's, and how much fluoride is in, the water that's in your tap, right? And number three, you want to reference the webinar that I did on thyroid health. And the only thing that you haven't done here, and I mean, maybe you've done this, I haven't asked you, the only other thing that can make the thyroid funky is if the nerves coming out of your neck that go to the thyroid are being squished inappropriately. And that happens if, you've had some type of trauma to the neck, or the natural curve that's in your neck is not the way that it should be. So have you ever been to a chiropractor and had the curve of your neck assessed?
Yes, but I have not had the curve of my neck assessed. I don't know about that. I haven't ever had any neck trauma or any problems with my neck.
Yeah. Well, that's the only last thing to look at on the diagnostic array here. I mean, there's only so many things that can cause the thyroid to be funky. Number one, it's not enough iodine. Number two, it's exposure to something that's got extra halides in it. Number three, it's lack of nutrients, but you've got all those bases covered. And number four, the only other thing can be if the curve of your neck isn't correct. And it could have been like that, for a long time. It could have been like that from like when you were 6 months or a year old.
Now, you said outside stressors. I tend to overdo it when I work out, so I tend to work out quite a bit. I don't know if my husband thinks maybe I'm overdoing it there.
Well, when you work out, do you sweat a lot?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
I mean, more than the person next to you?
No. I probably sweat less.
Yeah. Well, would it be possible for you for 4 weeks to not work out, or is that like just unthinkable?
That would be tough, but yeah, I mean, I could do it. I need to fix this problem, so.
Well, the only other thing to do here would be to double down. Well, the only other thing to do would be to get a bottle of the plant minerals or the cherry mints.
Okay.
Get a bottle. It's called the Ultimate Plant-Derived Minerals or Ultimate Cherry Mints. Cherry mints taste better. It's the same stuff. It's just the plant minerals with a little bit of cherry flavor added, because the plant minerals all by themselves, I mean, it tastes like water that's been in a garden hose for a week, right?
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, but the cherry mints is actually, it's pretty tasty, especially if you dilute it with water or put it in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. So at 150 pounds, if you're working out a lot, then I would get 2 bottles of the plant minerals a month. 2 bottles of the plant minerals a month. And take 1 ounce of the plant minerals into your body twice a day, with 1 ounce of those 2 ounces being after you work out.
Okay.
Not before, but after you work out. Okay. Right, because, it's possible that your body is losing nutrients through your sweat, and that because you're working out so much and, you're such like a real athletic workout person, that even though you're 150 pounds, you may be needing to take a 200 or 250 pound dose because you're sweating everything out. It just doesn't make sense to me that the thyroid should have gone south given everything that you're doing. I mean, that's just so the only possibilities, right, are there's something in the food or the water that you're drinking that's competing for the iodine, and that would be fluoride. Number one. Number two, you've got a funky curve in your neck and you don't know it. Or number three, the workout that you're doing is robbing minerals from your body at an aggressive rate, and you need to put them back in at an equally aggressive rate. And the best way to do that is with the cherry mints or the plant-derived minerals, 2 ounces a day for you.
Okay. Now, if it were something in a curvature of my neck, would that affect the levels of my TSH and T4?
Well, the TSH is an irrelevant old-fashioned test. The only time that the TSH is relevant is when it's stupidly high or stupidly low. I'm telling you, it shouldn't be done. It's a completely irrelevant test. If you went to a clinic somewhere and they just hooked you up to a blood draw machine, and every 30 minutes they took a sample of your blood for 24 hours, your TSH levels will be all over the freaking map, depending on the moment in time at which the blood was drawn. It's a completely useless test. Free T3 and free T4 are very specific blood diagnostic parameters that you can use, but, the presence of the goiter, that's a drop-dead diagnostic that you have a problem with the thyroid. And, I don't know the numbers. I'm making numbers up, but it's the majority of the time when you get an enlarged thyroid that the problem is not enough iodine. Well, and there are things that you can do that will suppress thyroid function, like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, or eggplant. How much of that stuff do you eat?
Not anymore. I don't eat that anymore.
Yeah. So I would get the curve of your neck checked out. I'd get the water checked out. I'd look around to see if in the county that you live in there's an extracurricular number of goiter cases, and then if that's the case, then it's an environmental thing. The only other thing that makes sense is I would concur with your husband that it's possible that your workout schedule is robbing minerals from your body and you just need to put them back.
Okay.
Makes sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
There's only so many things that can be wrong here, so I would kind of tick them off. This is what we do, right? It's why it's called the practice of medicine. This is what any good diagnostician will do. They just go down the checklist. Well, it's not this, it's not this, it's not this, it has to be this. So if you go down that list and check it out, and once you figure it out, Christy, call me back because I'm very, very interested in this. Nobody has ever told me that this has happened to them before, and, I really want to dial this in. Appreciate you, appreciate your trust. Keep up the good work and keep me in the loop. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk to Jim in New York when we come back about ringing in the ears. Stick around. Hey, everybody. You don't want to work all day? Well, who the heck does? Join Longevity. Become a business builder with Longevity. Make your longevity business successful. And guess what? You won't have to work all day. And guess what? Again, when you're doing stuff that you love, it ain't work, right? When you're your own boss, you can work an hour a day. You can work 24 hours a day. It's your call. Whatever floats your boat, whatever turns you on, join Longevity today as a business builder. FireYourMDNow.com. Click on the Longevity button and join the cause. Going to talk to Jim in New York about ringing in the ears. Hey, Jim, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. My name is Jim. I live in Central New York. I'm 61 years old. I'm 5'7", 155 pounds. I developed ringing in the left ear some time ago. I'm also a longevity associate. I've been taking the Pig Pack Plus for several months with extra glucogel, sometimes 10 or 15 glucogel a day, but I haven't had any improvement yet.
Okay, so the only time that medical nutrition doesn't work, you got to take the right stuff, which you're doing. You got to take the right amounts. I don't know that you're doing that. We got to talk about that. And you have to stop eating food that's gumming up the works. Once you dial all three of these things in, it's only a matter of time until something rolls around. So have you stopped eating wheat, barley, rye, and oats?
No, not completely. I've been working on it, but I've been struggling with that still.
Yeah, okay, so that's probably the problem, because when you eat that stuff, it creates inflammation in the gut that causes difficulty in absorbing the nutrients, right? So it's kind of like you're trying to put out a fire, but the hose that you're using has holes in it. So not all the water's coming out of the nozzle, right? It's getting out of the hose before it gets to the nozzle, and so it's going to significantly cut down or increase the amount of time that it's going to take for your body to recover here. So really, you need to dial that in, like, tomorrow, man, or today. Like, just stop eating wheat, barley, rye, and oats. And it's a lot easier than you might think, Jim. It's a lot easier than you might think. You can still have cereal for breakfast. You just need to get gluten-free cereal. You can still have a sandwich for lunch. You need to get gluten-free bread. You can still make a pizza at home once a week if you want. You just have to do it with a gluten-free pizza crust. It's not that difficult. When you're out to eat, you have the hamburger, not the bun, right? I mean, you have the steak instead of the fried steak, right? I mean, it's not that difficult to do. All right.
I've been eliminated fried food margins, heterocyclamines, oils, all that stuff.
Excellent.
So I'm doing that. I guess part of the question I had is I only have it in left ear, and in Dr. Logg's books, I know he says there's other causes of tinnitus besides the eighth cranial nerve. I wanted to ask you about that, too.
Well, There are, but before we get crazy about thinking about weird stuff like a brain tumor, right, we want to just dial in the appropriate treatments. Have you tried putting the CM cream in your ear canal?
Yeah, 2 times, and I didn't notice any change in it.
Okay, so here's what I want you to do for 4 weeks, 4 weeks in a row, all right, at 155 pounds.
Yes.
I want you to take 1 ounce of the white liquid calcium 3 times a day.
Okay.
1 ounce 3 times a day.
Right.
I want you to do 1 scoop of the Beyond Tangy 3 times a day.
Okay.
Okay. I want you to do 16 glucogel a day.
Okay.
And do that either 8 capsules and 8 capsules, or, do it in 3, like 5 capsules, 5 capsules, and 6 capsules. I want you to do 16 of those a day, all right?
I just bought some liquid glucogel. Will that work too?
Yeah, liquid glucogel will work. We dose the capsules at 1 capsule per 10 pounds per day, and we dose the liquid at 1 ounce per 50 pounds per day.
Okay.
Right. So if you do 1 ounce of the liquid, that leaves 100 pounds you need to take care of. That would be 10 capsules a day. So you can do 1 ounce of the liquid and 10 of the glucogel caps a day. You could do 2 ounces of the liquid and 5 of the caps a day, right? Whatever floats your boat.
Okay.
And eliminate wheat, barley, rye, and oats. And if you want to know why, or kind of like dial that in intellectually, just go to YouTube, type in Dr. Peter Glidden Against the Grain. Dr. Peter Glidden Against the Grain. A little video pops up that explains it. Go on that program for 4 weeks like your life depended on it, and call me back. I'm interested to see what happens. I'm pretty sure it's going to dial it right in for you. Stick around, folks. Coming up with hour 2 after these words.